listen to, but then I've also got how long, so as well as how long a week do you like listen to music, I've also got the same question, but how much of that is to radio. And I've got someone that said they listen to music for like 10 hours a week, none of it's radio.
Yeah.
So it's like things like that.
I imagine that's very similar.
Mm.
Well, I don't think I've come across radio that much ever. In my car, I have a CD or an iPod on or whatever.
Yeah, like my mum will, in the car she has like playlists on her phone which she'll set onto the thing. Like that's if it's like a proper journey, but if it's like just from like home to work or home to school, she'll like just have it on the radio.
Yeah.
Things like that.
It's probably only, I can only think of really one time I use radio every week or every other couple of weeks. It's when on the way to watching a football match, when I go to Carl United,
Yeah,
I have the radio on to get
for,
a
like,
bit of the
football.
build up.
I listen to the...
And then sports report at 5 o'clock on Radio
Well,
5 Live.
if I'm at my grandma's up in like the field or something, because this weekend I was up in the field digging a ditch.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't digging a ditch, I was cleaning it. But like I had my headphones in, I was listening to Carlisle at the weekend doing things like that.
Yeah.
Different points in the weekend I'll listen to 5 Live, listen to different sports, things like that. So
I just have the car radio permanently on Radio 4, and as soon as I get in, I just stuff the radio on. It's just like that all the time. It never changes. So you get a variety of different people using the radio for different reasons.
But I think you probably still get, I mean, that stuff like Carl United's radio coverage and things like that, it's probably like what a lot of people use Radio Cymru for in a way, because it's, I really actually like the way they do cover Carl United.
Yeah.
I think it's really in depth and they're really good at it and the analysis is good. But the fact that you don't have to travel to Exeter on a Tuesday night, you can sit at home and listen to it.
Tuesday night in the rain,
to
Exeter.
Yeah, that's it. And you just think, I don't mind because Radio Cymru's coverage of it is actually superb.
It's a live aspect, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, and you can't get that. The internet can't provide that yet.
Yeah.
You can only really do that through Radio Cymru. And I think, it'll always have that important part of it. Like when Carlisle flooded, especially the first time when a lot of power was out and all these things and people only had radios, the fact that they were broadcasting still and doing all this coverage and they were sort of making fun of it, just playing songs that were all about water and rain for about 5 hours solid and stuff, and it was an experience that basically everyone had because it's all you had. No TV, no internet, no nothing. Transistor radios, tuned into Radio Cumbria and having a laugh about it, and it still serves purposes. But I think in terms of a way to digest music, popular music, I think you're kind of right. It is a bit dying.
Even I do still listen to the radio for like music, not just like sport.
Yeah.
Because I know like most of what I listen to a lot of sport on the radio. That's because I don't have like Sky or anything. I have BT, so I can watch the late Premier League kickoff.
Yeah,
That's
Champions League.
like the one game a week. And if there's European games, I can watch them. But like if I'm listening to football, I'll usually listen to it like on the radio on the computer or whatever. But like I still listen to music on the radio as well, so probably just as much, because I listen to radio's probably always on in Grandma's house, because she's even when she's gone outside, she'll just leave the radio on and someone will be in listening to it probably. But like it's always on at lunchtime, supper time, things like that, because you listen to like Joe Costin. That's one that my grandma really likes, and he always has his show on like Saturdays and Sundays, and like it's on every weekend, or it's on like classic or whatever. So it depends for like there's different like channels for different generations. I feel like the younger generation are more likely to listen to something like Radio 1, Radio 6, like CFM, things like that. More like middle aged is like Radio 2 and around that, but they still listen to some of the more youthful stuff, but they can also listen to like older stuff.
I was going to say, old bastards listen to Radio 4, isn't he? I'm like, old
No, but
I
like,
didn't even know Radio 4 existed.
the only radio station my granddad will listen to is like classic, or like he'll listen to Radio Cumbria on occasion, because they play older music. I know he likes a show on Radio 2, because they have like, Radio 2 is really good. That's probably one of my favourite radio stations at the moment, because they have things for everything. They have the news thing, they have like people come on and talk, they have things for young people, things for the like middle-aged generation, and then they have like, I know they have a Friday night is music night. It's one that Grandad always likes, and he always puts it on. They always play like old time music, and he always enjoys that. So it's like Radio 2 is a good balance for everyone,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
It's got very niche stuff on Radio 2 as well.
Mm.
Like say like classic, like all that stuff. On Saturday mornings they've got like the sounds of the 60s.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And on Tuesday nights they've got
What's the most
Jamie
popular-
Cullum's jazz show.
Friday when I go
and all
to
that kind of
Grandma's,
stuff.
it's
The
you
biggest
can
coverage
they
by
have like a
miles.
2-hour show that you can just like your phone in, you pick a song, and they play the song.
Yeah.
It's like just like that.
But from all of this, is that there's maybe a part of your kind of documentary thing, whatever it's going to evolve into, that covers this. Is like, you know, some people might think it's dying for popular music, but what is the use of radio still? Like, and it does all these things. We've just had a 5-10 minute chat about it, you know, and we all still actually, you know, it still ticks all these boxes and stuff. And it maybe is that the future of radio is filling all these gaps in that you can't get on Spotify. And you have to pay for Spotify and all
Yeah.
those.
Well, I don't have Spotify or anything like that.
No, I don't know.
The only music thing I have is like just radio.
Yeah. But I think it's a go for it. I think your interview stuff is really important. You're gonna have to go and scout Radio Cumbria and stuff and see if they've got somewhere to,
Yeah.
to film it. If not, you're gonna have to. You can get B-roll stuff there, get them playing with the desks, get them all the stuff that they kind of use. Try and get that filmed. Then you might have to set up somewhere here and try and get them to come across and interview them, or a different space that's more.
Yeah, well, I could still like do the illusion of that.
Yeah.
Of what because what he said was like, film me going, like waking up, turn on a radio, things like that, listening to someone that I like on the radio, going in. You can have a shot of like the Radio Cumbria thing, and then I could still like get shots of like the music equipment, and then you could bring them back here, and you could still have the illusion that you're still there. It's just not in like a room. It's
You
like
could.
they
That
have a
little- that little
special.
room next door to here.
Yeah,
would-
you could
would
even
use
use that.
I mean, what you want to do though is to draw up a list of the close-up shots that you need, and those sort of shots are things like, you know, the little red on-air light that comes on, real close-up of hand on faders, you know, VU meters going. Is that, you know, and you want about 50 of them. You don't want 3. You want an absolute bucket load of them. And then you can scatter it right the way through. The one thing that I would say is I don't know how important you know, you've got 2 questions there. Why do we love music? And is radio dying? Yeah, there's 2 questions there. Now, you know, they're 2 completely different things in my view. One, obviously, the suggestion of the magazine program type magazine insert with DJs talking about this. But if you want to talk about whether radio is dying, does that not talk more like about you have your Oprah Winfrey kind of situation? You get a load of people in the big studio at the end there, multi-cameras and all this sort of stuff, and you stand at the front there and you be Oprah. And right on the left-hand side, we got all the people who are pro Spotify and YouTube and all this sort of stuff, and on the other side, we got the people who are pro radio. So my first question to you, pro radio guys, why is radio great? Right, you. Then hopefully someone says something interesting, and then, you know, right, and then you go over with a handheld microphone to the other side. No, that's absolute crap. That because blah blah. Do you know what I mean? So you've got that completely different aspect altogether. I mean, that's just throwing in another idea there completely. But, you know, you basically got like a live or magazine program, what appears to be, and you'd have to shoot that with multi-cameras and all that kind of stuff. But you would be the main anchor person, and there's, you know, quite a lot of pressure involved in that, I would say.
Well, at the moment, I'm not like fully set on like a title, like things that I'm going to ask as like questions. Like I know most of it'll be to do with why, with like loving music and things like that. But I probably will still ask like, do you think it's fading out in like a sense to things like Spotify, YouTube, like that? Because when I'm at home, I always have YouTube on in the background. Like, if I'm on my computer, I have a YouTube video on, or I have music on YouTube, rather than like radio. I don't have a radio in the attic, but like I can still like just put headphones on and like listen to it. But I choose to like, because I have playlists saved like private playlist saved on YouTube to have like songs. I rarely have to skip anything. If anything, all I have to do is like press it on the Xbox and it'll skip the ad. That's basically it.
Amazing. Well, you know, the other aspect to this is, you see, I'm of a completely different generation, obviously, and I would never have like YouTube up all the time and all this kind of stuff. I mean, one possible massive aspect to this is the new. What are you guys? Are you the Y generation, or what generation are these guys? I can't remember.
I don't think they've given it a name yet.
I think it's the one below Y generation. Are you your generation one, whereby you are going to get rid of all this sort of stuff, which is orientated as a mass media? Because it's certainly the Y generation, I know for a fact. One thing that really distinguishes them is that they must have a customization to themselves personally. That generation wants to have, no, I don't want to just have that sort of front on my iPhone. I want this. I don't want to have to go to work at 9 o'clock. I actually want to go at 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna leave at 4. I need to have my car. You notice these cars coming through now. I want a purple roof and blue sides and a bloody pink door. All this.
Stupid.
Whereas a few years ago, and certainly my generation, I couldn't give a toss about all that sort of thing. I will have a bloody grey one. Actually, no, I want a blue one. Or do you know what I mean? And the facing on my computer, or whatever. Yeah, fine, whatever. I choose that one. I don't need the interchangeable stuff. And this has come from the massive interchangeability that you get in computer programming. Your generation, and I'm not decrying it or anything, but I want 2,500 different versions of this, if you know what I mean. Whereas, my generation is, I want that one. And I'm fine with that one because that's the one that I choose, yeah. And so for me, I'm very happy to have radio just broadcast right through, and it is what it is, and I'm quite enjoying that. Whereas is it that your generation? No, I don't want to listen to that particular interview with Amber Rudd about blah blah blah, because why? I don't want that. I want this. And so you can choose everything, and it's absolutely right down to yourselves, utterly personalised in almost every way. And this is, a generational thing. Now, that's something that is definitely interesting to explore with regard to radio. I think it's a generational thing. A new generation's coming through now.